Hey, everybody, and welcome to this deep dive.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to be looking at Matthew McConaughey's 5 minutes for the next 50 years speech.
All right.
And really kind of break it down and pull out some of those nuggets of wisdom that are applicable to us
Yeah.
in our everyday lives.
It's really interesting how McConaughey starts by kind of challenging us to define success.
Right.
You know, not by society standards,
Yeah,
but by what really matters to us as individuals.
totally.
And he gives all these different examples:
Yeah.
money, family, helping others, even fame.
Uh-huh.
But the real question is, what's that underlying thread?
It seems like he's really pushing back against the idea of external validation. Like,
Right.
it's not about keeping up with the Joneses. It's
Right.
about what truly brings you
Yeah.
fulfillment, you know?
Yes.
So,
What does success look like to you
yeah, that's the question.
as an individual?
What does it look like to you?
Yeah.
What really stood out to me was when he said, life is not fair. It never was. It isn't now, and it won't ever be.
Hmm.
Do not fall into the entitlement trap.
I think that's so important,
Yeah.
especially today.
Yeah.
Where we're constantly bombarded
Especially with social media.
with these
too.
perfect
Yeah.
images of other people's lives.
Yeah, totally.
And it's easy to feel like we're not enough or that we deserve certain things.
Right.
But what McConaughey is saying is
Yeah.
we have the power to create our own destiny,
Right.
regardless of our circumstances.
So how do we actually define our own success? Why do we go about that?
He suggests starting by defining what you are not, what you don't want in your life.
Yeah, he uses those very vivid examples
Right.
like ditching toxic friends,
Yes.
unhealthy bars, even time-wasting screens,
Absolutely.
and bad food.
I love that.
Yeah.
It's like a decluttering exercise for your mind.
Yeah, it is.
By removing those negative influences,
Right.
we naturally gravitate towards the things that matter most.
It's like cleaning out your closet,
Exactly.
getting rid of the things you don't wear anymore
Right.
to make room for new pieces.
That fit you better,
Yeah.
that reflect who you are.
But instead of clothes, we're talking about habits and relationships.
Yeah.
You know, even thoughts.
Our thoughts shape our reality.
So could eliminating negativity be the key to finding?
I think it's a big part of it.
Yeah.
There's actually research to back this up.
Is there?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Our brains have something called a negativity bias, where we tend to focus on the negative more than the positive.
Interesting.
So by consciously choosing to eliminate negative influences, we're not just clearing clutter, we're actually rewiring our brains
Interesting.
to focus on the positive.
So he takes it a step further
He does.
and argues that too many options can be paralyzing. He says, too many options, I promise you, will make a tyrant of us all.
Oh, I feel that.
I can definitely relate to that.
Is
Like,
that-
think about how much time we spend
Oh my goodness.
scrolling through Netflix
Right.
or agonizing over what to order at a restaurant.
That's the paradox of choice.
Yeah.
We think we want all these options,
Yeah.
but then it just leads to decision fatigue and anxiety,
Right.
fear of missing out.
So it seems like he's saying it's not about limiting ourselves,
Oh, no.
but it's about being more intentional
Yes.
with our choices.
Exactly.
So if we're defining ourselves by what we're not and simplifying our choices, what's the next step?
Well, McConaughey uses this phrase, creating outcomes that pay us back. It's about choosing actions and habits
Okay.
that yield positive returns.
All right. I'm curious to unpack that a little bit more.
Sure.
What does it actually look like to create outcomes that pay us back?
Well, he uses this great analogy.
Okay.
He says, architecture is a verb, meaning
Yeah.
we're constantly building our lives
Yeah.
brick by brick through our choices.
Right.
So it's about asking yourself,
Yeah.
what kind of structure am I creating?
Right.
Does this choice, this action, contribute to the life I want to be living?
So instead of just drifting through life,
Yes.
we can become the architect of our own experience.
Be the architect of your life.
And it's not just the big decisions, it's the little things too.
It's the everyday choices
Yeah.
that accumulate over time.
The way we spend our mornings, the
Absolutely.
people we surround ourselves with,
Yes.
even how we react to challenges.
It all matters.
Yeah. And he doesn't shy away from the fact that it can be messy.
No, it's not always going to be perfect.
We're going to make mistakes along the way.
We are human.
And that's okay.
That's part of the process.
Yeah.
What matters is how we handle those mistakes.
He really emphasizes taking responsibility,
Yes.
making amends where necessary,
Absolutely.
and then moving on.
Letting go of the past.
There's that really powerful line
Oh, yeah.
where he says, guilt and regret kill many a man before their time. It's so true.
It's a heavy burden to carry.
Yeah, and it can really prevent us from reaching our full potential.
Absolutely.
I think it speaks to the importance of self-compassion.
Yeah.
You know,
We're all learning and growing.
we all make mistakes.
We do.
It's part of being human.
It's how we learn.
Right, and it's about learning to forgive ourselves.
Exactly.
And recognizing that we're doing the best we can with the knowledge that we have.
With what we know at the time.
At any given time.
Yeah.
It's about recognizing that we're all works in progress. We're constantly learning and evolving.
Always growing.
And that evolution requires us to let go of the past.
Yeah.
And really embrace the present moment.
Be here now.
It's not about denying or minimizing our mistakes.
No.
But it's about using them
right.
as opportunities for growth and learning.
To become better versions of ourselves.
And speaking of stories, McConaughey ends his speech with this really powerful message.
Oh, yeah.
He says, "You are the author of the book of your life."
I love that visual.
It's so powerful, right? It puts us firmly in the driver's seat.
We have the pen.
Yeah.
We get to write our own story.
You're not just passive characters?
No, we're the creators of our own narratives.
All right, so we've covered a lot of ground here.
We have.
We've talked about defining success on our own terms, eliminating negativity,
right,
simplifying our choices,
absolutely,
creating outcomes that pay us back, owning our mistakes.
That's right.
But we've just scratched the surface.
There's so much more to explore.
Stay with us as we dive deeper into McConaughey's wisdom.
Yes.
And see what it all means for you.
Absolutely. Stay tuned. You know, one thing that really hit me was how defining success isn't a one-time thing.
Oh, yeah.
It's like this ongoing journey. Right?
Yeah, it's not like checking off a box and you're done.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It changes as we grow and change.
Right.
And what drives us at 20 might look totally different at 40.
Absolutely.
And sometimes it's not even these huge shifts.
Yeah.
Like maybe a job that used to excite you.
Yeah.
Just feels blah now.
Yeah. Or a friendship.
Or a friendship.
A friendship used to feel really good. Is kind of draining you now.
Yeah. And McConaughey is saying, like, pay attention to that.
Yeah.
Be open to adjusting.
Yeah. I love the analogy he uses about tending to your garden.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Like it needs attention.
Got to weed it. You got to water it.
You got to prune it.
You got to prune it, right?
Yeah.
And it's the same with our
relationships, our passion.
Our values even.
Yeah. And it's so easy to just get caught up in the day-to-day.
Oh, yeah.
And forget to nurture those things that matter.
Totally. And that's where I think that elimination thing comes back in.
Yes.
It's not just about getting rid of the bad stuff.
It's about making room for the good.
It is.
Yeah.
It's about making space for those things.
Absolutely.
That we really want to cultivate in our lives.
And it's about boundaries, too.
Oh, yeah.
Not just with other people.
Yeah.
But with our time and energy.
So true.
It's easy to get overwhelmed.
Well, especially in today's world, right?
Right. With all the demands and information coming at us.
But we have the power to choose.
We do.
Where we focus our attention.
Absolutely.
And that's really empowering, I think.
Yeah, to take back control.
And McConaughey doesn't pretend like it's always easy.
Oh, no.
Or that we won't mess up sometimes.
We're going to make mistakes.
We are.
But that's okay.
He says what matters is what we do.
How we handle them.
After we make those mistakes.
We got to own them.
Make amends if we need to.
And then let it go.
And then let it go.
Don't dwell in the past.
That line, guilt and regret kill many a man before their time.
Yeah, powerful, right?
That's powerful.
Holding on to those feelings.
Yeah.
It's like carrying around a heavy weight.
It is.
It'll drag you down.
It'll drag you down.
Yeah. And I think it really highlights the importance of self-compassion.
Absolutely.
Giving ourselves a break.
We're all just doing the best we can.
With what we know.
With what we know at the time.
At the time.
It's like we're all works in progress.
Always learning, always evolving.
Always evolving.
Right.
And that evolution, I think, requires us to let go.
Let go of the past.
Yeah, and embrace where we're at.
Right here, right now.
Right here, right now.
Yeah.
It's not about ignoring the mistakes.
No.
But it's about learning from them.
Yeah. Using them as fuel.
Yeah, to grow.
To become better.
To become better.
Yeah, I also found it interesting how he talks about creating outcomes that pay us back.
Oh, yeah.
It's deeper than just like getting a promotion or making money.
Yeah.
He talks about things like honest pain.
Right.
Laughter earned tears.
So it's like he's saying, embrace the whole range of human emotions.
The highs and the lows.
The good, the bad, and the ugly.
It's all part of what makes life rich and meaningful.
It's not just about chasing happiness.
It's about experiencing life fully.
Yeah, and finding the joy, even amidst the challenges.
Exactly, finding those moments of joy, even when things are tough.
So it's not about this like arbitrary definition of success.
No.
It's about creating a life.
That feels good in your soul.
Yeah, a life that feels authentic and fulfilling.
Alignment.
Yeah.
Between your values, your actions, your experiences.
Yeah, and that's what's so cool about his message.
It's universal.
It really is.
It doesn't matter how old you are.
Or what you do.
What your background is.
These principles can apply
to everyone.
To everyone.
It's about living a life
that feels purposeful and fulfilling.
Yes, creating a life that you're proud of.
We've covered a lot, but we're just getting started.
Oh yeah, we're just warming up.
Stick with us as we continue this deep dive
into McConaughey's wisdom
and explore how you can apply these insights
to your own life.
Welcome back to this deep dive. You know, we've been exploring all this wisdom from McConaughey.
Yeah.
But now it's time to really make it practical, right?
Right. How do we take all these ideas and actually put them into action?
Make them work in our own lives.
In our everyday lives.
So remember that idea of defining yourself by what you're not. That's where I think we really start.
I think that's a great starting point.
It's not just about saying yes to the good stuff.
Right.
It's about having the courage to say no.
To those things that are no longer serving you.
To the things that are draining us.
Right.
Yeah.
Even if they look good on the surface.
Even if it seems like, oh, I should be doing that. You know.
Exactly.
Think about your own life. Are there any commitments or relationships?
Habits.
Habits that aren't really serving you anymore.
It's like decluttering your life.
It is.
Letting go of what's no longer needed.
And it can be hard.
It can be hard to let go.
But it's so worth it.
It is, because it creates space for new things to come in.
Yeah. And he also talks about that tyranny of too many options, right?
Oh, yeah.
Which is so relevant, I think.
In today's world.
In today's world where we're just bombarded with choices.
All the time.
Like all the time.
What to watch, what to buy.
What to wear, where to eat.
It's overwhelming.
It's overwhelming. And we end up feeling paralyzed instead of empowered.
Exactly.
But what I took from McConaughey is it's not about restricting ourselves.
Right.
It's about being more intentional.
Yes. Being mindful of our choices.
About the choices we make.
Aligning them with our values.
Yeah. So instead of just getting swept up
in the latest trend.
Yeah, in every shiny object.
Yeah.
We can actually pause and say, does this really align
with what I want?
With what I want for my life.
For my life.
And that brings us back to that architecture is a verb idea.
Oh, yeah. One of my favorites.
So good, right?
We are the architects of our lives.
It's not just about the big picture.
It's the everyday choices.
It's the little things.
How you start your morning.
How we react to stress.
How you talk to yourself.
How we talk to ourselves.
Yeah.
It all adds up.
It builds the foundation.
It really does. And even the best architects.
They make mistakes.
They make mistakes.
Sometimes.
Right. And McConaughey acknowledges that.
He does. He says, own your mistakes.
Make amends.
And move on.
Such an important message.
Yeah.
Because we're all going to mess up.
You're human.
We're human.
We're not perfect.
It's not about ignoring the mistakes.
No.
It's about integrating them.
Into our story.
Into our story, yeah, and learning from them.
Yeah, and that's what's so empowering.
Yeah.
We're not defined by our past.
Not defined by our past.
We can learn. We can grow.
And that leads us to that final point.
That big takeaway.
You are the author
of your own story.
Of the book of your life.
You hold the pen.
You hold the pen, and that's the question we want to leave you with.
Yeah, what story do you want to tell?
What does success look like to you?
What kind of life do you want to create?
What legacy do you want to leave behind?
Because you have the power.
Yeah.
To make it happen.
McConaughey's speech is like a reminder that we can all live these extraordinary lives.
It's not about some cookie-cutter definition of success.
Right. It's about creating a life that feels authentic.
And meaningful.
And fulfilling to you.
It's about aligning your actions with your values.
Embracing the whole human experience.
The good, the bad, the messy.
The messy parts, too.
And remembering that you are the author.
Of your own story.
So go out there and write a story that you're proud of.